Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with the Weekly Comic Roundup. We're at the midway point of this week's roundup. I'm going to start off by wrapping up this week's Marvel books. I'll kick things off with Star Wars Darth Vader, number 40. Continuing Darth Vader's tie-in to the Dark Droids crossover. Where we left off with Darth Vader, the Scourge had attempted to assimilate Vader on Mustafar and had in fact taken over quite a few of the droids on Mustafar. Vader had defeated the Scourge-infested droids, leaving them by and large scrap. He also headed back to and opted to head back to Coruscant as he had some business to deal with there. Mainly facing down those who have tested and doubted him. So on Coruscant, currently, the Scourge has not really spread through the planet yet, through Imperial Center yet. However, that changes. Vader arrives on his TIE fighter, though it appears that he kind of just said to hell with protocol. At the Imperial Palace, another force wave has come and gone, and Administrator Sly Moore is having trouble dealing with it. But Masameda informs the Emperor that Vader is approaching. The Emperor orders Vader's TIE fighter shot down, crashes in front of the Imperial Palace, and Vader and the Emperor have a brief fight. The Emperor attempts to use Dark Troopers against Vader, which Vader promptly puts them down. And then it becomes, as the fight is about to become directly between Vader and the Emperor, turns out the little Scourge spider droids have stowed away on Vader's TIE fighter. Start taking over the various droids on Coruscant, including the Dark Troopers. But the Emperor takes out a rather large number of them with Force Lightning. And the Scourge has spread into the city. The Emperor states that he thrives on Vader's hate, and the more Vader hates him, the more anyone hates him, the stronger he becomes. Vader leaves in a shuttle. Apparently he has one of the spider droids with him, and allow them to basically turn him to assimilate him into the Scourge. And that is where the issue ends. Well, that's kind of terrifying. I'm overall enjoying Dark Droids. I've stated before, my only real issue with it is that it seems that Marvel is just pushing off, continuing on the point in time between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, just to continue telling stories in that era, rather than moving on to post Return of the Jedi. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got House of Slaughter number 19. Where we left off, Bate had developed something of a bond with one of the others, with most of the others, specifically Nan. But it seems that the conclusion point of his mission is coming, and he's been informed that yes, that one, it seems that Nan is an originator. She might not be able to see the monsters, but in telling stories of them, she somewhat wills them into existence. And it kind of makes the kids into proliferators, so they're told the stories. Maybe they tell another kid at school one of the stories, and then that kid at school gets eaten by a monster. So, Bates Familiar is basically walking through what he's going to have to do. One of the kids finds B talking with his familiar and states that the other kids know. And the familiar talks to the other kid as well, basically saying, we'll have. It seems that the kids want to fight the monsters. So the foster parents have to go into town. We'll be back in the morning. So they're going to take on the monsters that night. They've got various melee weapons, but there's also the foster dad's gun cabinet, which they break into. And one of the monsters kills an old man in the woods, and the kids get ready. As the rest of the kids fight off the monsters, Bate heads inside to deal with Nan. However, there's a monster in the room with her. Nan flees while Bate deals with the monster. By the time Nan gets outside, however, at least one of the other kids is also dead. And Bate, has been run through by the monster inside the house. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting. Kind of get the feeling, though, that by the end of this, either somehow Nan survives, and or potentially speaking, if Nan survives, most likely Bate's going to die, but the other kids will die too, and so no proliferator, but that'll be largely written off as a success, as a moderate success by the Order. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Transformers number 2. Where we left off, Spike Wiki had discovered the Autobot Ark, woken the Autobots up, as well as the Decepticons, and the Autobot-Decepticon War reignited here on Earth. Starscream led the Decepticons out of the Ark, and they went to a power station, the one that, in fact, Spike's dad works at, and killed one of Sam Witwicky's co-workers, who we learned in this issue was the father of Spike's friend Carly. So the issue begins. Optimus has stepped out into is discovering Earth and finds it to be beautiful. But he accidentally steps on a deer, realizing just how fragile the Earth can be. Spike and Optimus talk some, with Optimus explaining the history of giving a very truncated version of Cybertronian history, We briefly see, apparently, as the Ark was lifting off, the Decepticons attacked, and we see Megatron and Optimus fighting. Cliff Jumper shows up. There's not a lot of Energon, so so it's hard to keep most of the Autobots, to repair most of the Autobots. But apparently Cliff Jumper is kind of terrified of the humans. But Carly kind of, knocks some sense into him, kind of saying, "Hey, look at me. Does it look like I even remotely try to hurt you?" But there's not really that much Energon to repair the Autobots. Cops are at the power station talking about what's happened, getting information, getting statements about what happened when Skywarp shows up. Soundwave sets up a device for energy convert, basically convert nascent energy into energon. An aircraft sensors detect the incoming aircraft. Starscream goes to intercept. Manages to do some damage to the jet. Though the jet does seem to actually manage to do a little bit of damage to him. Pilot and co-pilot eject. The co-pilot is squashed by Megatron or by Starscream. The pilot basically has a jetpack under his parachute and does manage to use his service pistol to shoot Starscream in the face. As he flies off, we see the name patch on the pilot's flight suit. Duke. And, of course, the Decepticons are terrorizing the humans in the town. Realizing that the power station that Spike realizes the power station his father works at is under attack, and so Optimus transforms and rolls out with Carly following in her van, though they're being observed by Laserbeak. Sam Witwicky returns home, gets his military gear out. Carly goes to the Witwicky household hoping to meet Sam there, but that's when oh no, she goes to her house. Carly went to her house, not the Witwicky house. Sam is going through Davy's military gear and getting ready to fight the Decepticons, and informs Carly when she arrives that they killed her dad. And that is where the issue ends. Alright, well, we're picking up. We've gotten Duke's official first appearance. There was, in both the first issue of Transformers as well as this month's issue, there's a preview of Duke #1. But that wouldn't necessarily say that counts as a first appearance. So, moving on though to our next book, we've got Blue Beetle #3. Where we left off, the Scarlet Scarab had shown up and caused some trouble for the Horizon, as well as two of the other Scarabs, and left a strange mystical signet behind. Jamie gets in touch with Tracy 13, takes him to the Oblivion Bar. Beetle shows Blue Devil the symbols left, but Tracy explains that she thinks she knows someone who can help, Madame Xanadu, and Madame Xanadu has Jamie draw cards from her tarot deck. Starfire shows up. I don't know what's happened in Paloma City. Wondering where Jamie is, and apparently that seems to be the big question everyone has, including Veronica Cord. Cord states that she, she'll happily put security around the Horizon's settlement, but they kind of say, yeah, no, we don't want your soldiers. They don't want cameras or soldiers, and the Horizon have champions of their own. Brenda talks with one of the other Scarab hosts, and says she is Victoria's assistant. Apparently, Brenda's trying to help Jamie by gaining Victoria's trust. Victoria's also not happy with the fact that she went to visit her brother in the hospital, and apparently, well, her brother's gone, having been taken to an undisclosed location by his superhero buddies. So, among the cards drawn include the Ten of Swords. See, we got the Tower. I can't. Some tarot cards I can recognize by simple imagery, but there appear to be two that look like they could be the Tower. So yeah. But Jamie and Tracy go to the leaders of the Blood Scarab. So Tracy and first. Jamie remembers that Dan Garrett, the Blue Beetle before Ted Cord, fought a pharaoh decades ago, defeated pharaoh decades ago. Tracy takes her and Jamie to the pyramid that wherein Dan found the scarab. They go exploring. Apparently, the chamber that they enter through is where sacrifices were held. Blood Scarab shows up as they reach the tomb. Jamie and the Blood Scarab fight it out, but Blood Scarab can phase through Kajida's attempts at stopping him. Tracy utilizes some of her magics to distract the Blood Scarab, but Blood Scarab vanishes as the pyramid starts to crumble around them, and she teleports herself and Jamie out, and basically explains that one, this isn't going to be dealing with the Blood Scarab isn't going to be easy, and Jamie needs to figure out how far he's willing to go to protect the people he cares about. And that is where the issue ends. As much as I love Ted Cord, I am kind of glad that he has, for the moment, been written out, for the time being, been written out of this current story, so I can focus more on Jamie. As much as I love Ted, and as much as I do, I think it would be I think that a book focusing on Jamie would be best served focusing on Jamie and not having the previous Blue Beetle hanging around as well, at least for the moment. His presence can be felt, but he doesn't necessarily need to be there. Moving on, though, to our last one for the moment, we've got Fire and Ice. Welcome to Smallville number 3. Where we left off, Fire was trying to do something of a reality show with about redeeming Z-list supervillains by having them work at the beauty shop. And apparently this caught the attention of Jimmy Olsen and the Daily Planet, and Jimmy Olsen has shown up to write a story about it. Of course, things are kind of a mess. Lots of conflicting personalities. But they at very least need to calm things down within the shop before Jimmy comes in, so likely a distraction is probably a good idea. The initial idea that Fire gets shot down by Tora, but then kind of said, but Tora kind of realized maybe it's not the worst idea. But Fire sends a handful of them upstairs. It basically gets started with dealing with the rest of them. Meanwhile, Ice is able to convince Maxie Zeus to do something for to go upstairs by basically having him take an upright sink up there and telling him that whatever he does, the sink is not allowed to touch the ground. Outside, the stylist, when our stylist is talking with Jimmy, asking questions about his mishaps / exploits, including talking about him having turned into a giant turtle. But Charlie shows up for his haircut, which he always gets at Smallville Institution, Big T's. But Grodd's sister, whose name I actually cannot remember, uses her telekinesis to bring Charlie to her station. The ones that have been taken upstairs consist of Lot's wife, I can't remember the guy with the 2 extra brains in his butt. Catman, not to be confused with Catman, and Gentleman Ghost, and I believe also I think that Maxie was also up there, but I could be mistaken. Catman uses his control of his cats to distract Elron, and Lot's wife asks if he can send his cat to get her some tomatoes and garlic. A lot of garlic, so she can make Jimmy a cacciatore. They also show Jimmy the bathroom where the confessions are done, which Jimmy makes some ethical complaints about. Rocky shows up to say that apparently local farmer, her cattle have gone crazy, and in fact one of them trying to bite the farmer's hand off, and they're even eating each other, which reminds Tora of a creature from her homeland that brought on a hunger that is all consuming, that anyone under the spell would do anything to satiate it. Apparently this creature was banished. Charlie's hair is all completely cut off by leading Rocky to get quite the chuckle out of her brother. Or out of her sister. From Rocky gets a laugh out of Charlie's new haircut. Jimmy talks to Beefeater, but a noise downstairs gets his attention. A fight has broken out once again between Lot's wife and the beauty queen. Fire's having seemingly having a breakdown. Ice talks to her. One of the other girls in the shop manages to convince Jimmy to write a glowing article about the shop and what Fire and Ice are doing. Ice manages to lift Fire's spirits, and before Jimmy leaves, it's suggested to get a photo of the group. However, while it's happening, one of Catman's cats rubs against Jimmy's leg, and well, Jimmy's allergic to cats, and sneezes, turning into Turtle Boy. And Maxie fails and his task and drops the sink. But Elron deals with the Jimmy Olsen situation by getting some water and pouring it on his face. However, it seems that the creature from Ice's homeland is in Smallville, and well, it's not just affecting cattle. Lot's wife has apparently killed Beefeater and begun eating him. And that is where the issue ends. Well, things did definitely get an interesting turn here. But, anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.